Welcome in. Congratulations to all you guys for making the decision and come here today. Big first step. So, question to start it out. How many of you guys have ever been told to chase your passions? Do what you're passionate about. Put your hand up. Ever been told, what you're not sure what you're going to do with your career? Do what you're passionate about. For the next 20 minutes, we're throwing our passions out the window. We're leaving our passions outside. We are focused on skill sets and relationships today. So, we all, we love Amazon, but we did not come to this conference to be passionate about selling products. We're trying to make money. We're trying to be profitable. And passion is not how you're going to get profitable. It's skill set and relationships. And your passion comes later. Skill set, relationships, and consistency. So those are the things I'm going to hit on today. And in my opinion, if you want to make money, skill sets, relationships, and showing up every day and being consistent, you can do okay with 2 out of 3. 3 out of 3 is how you're really going to kill it. And I don't want to sound like just some cold-blooded capitalist up here. I chased my passions like my entire life. So my only goal was to go to the NFL. Since I was 6 years old, that's the only thing I remember. And I worked day and night, didn't touch a drop of alcohol, no substances, high school, college. I was just so locked in on this passion. Worked on it for probably 17 years. I did not get drafted. I got a call, Detroit Lions. Hey, we want you to come to mini camp. I get there, see my name on the locker, name on the playbook. I got cut about 5 days later. So boom, worked my whole life, got to the NFL, didn't make a dollar from it, got cut. Didn't know I was gonna continue this journey at all. Ended up playing in Canada. So there's a CFL professional league up there. I lived in Montreal. Japan, bounced around, and I had some side hustles. One of those side hustles was working for my friend's distribution company. And it started off as one bicycle brand. His cousin has a bicycle brand. He said, hey, you want to be a sales rep? I'm like, sure, okay. Jake, he was a sales rep for one brand. We would bring that brand into the US. And after a while, we said, well, we're kind of like adding a lot of value to this brand. They were from Taiwan. We basically are getting them in stores. We're starting to get them selling. And my friend said, hey, let's pick up another brand and another brand and another brand. Let's add this service to many people. But I was a sales rep and I'm not getting any retainer. I'm selling $20 products. I'm making $1,000 a month. I don't know if you guys can see this check. It was 2019, my first check from Coast to Coast Distribution, $1,000. I was hyped. But I live in California. I got a family. Like, this is not cutting it. So I'm like, man, love what we're doing here, but this isn't going to work. With all these things going on. But I saw an opportunity. And there were some skills I didn't know I had at this point. So sales was one. So I started off as a sales rep. I'm calling brick and mortar stores. I'm trying to sell them $20 products of bike brands that nobody knows about. It was impossible. So like the skill of selling is something that I started learning. Relationships as well. So at this point, I'm not passionate about bicycles, but I had a relationship and I knew I could scale it there. And at the end of the day, that's how you guys are going to get a lot of your brands and suppliers as well. And then Amazon. I've been reselling on Amazon since 2010. I was selling textbooks, used iPhones back when you could. Like, I was not doing what I do today. But that's what I want you guys to know today. Amazon is a skill. So it's not just a channel, it's a skill set. And I realized that I could offer this skill set to brands, to distributors, to retailers, and really be a partner that they, either would have to pay an agency for or figure out themselves. I was like, I'm selling stuff on Amazon. I'm doing little flips. Start working with one brand. Let me help you guys out. And after a while, you scale those relationships. But I'm building up my skill set right now. I'm building up my relationships. And I still, I'm at that point where I don't really know, like, is this my full-time thing? Like, slowly, the sales rep thing's going okay. And then, boom, Amazon starts popping off. So this check was in 2019 in April. This was my seller account in November of 2020. So this was off one relationship I had. We scaled it to $1 million a year in, 7-8 months. So my chart looks like this. I'm up 82,000% year over year. I'm like, okay, I think I'm getting somewhere now. Like, I'm making more than $1,000. And at this point I had shifted from like, I'm not selling anymore. I want to be your exclusive wholesaler. When I was a sales rep, like, I'm selling to stores, but for some reason, my biggest buyers are always these online guys. I'm like, I never talk to you. I don't have to go store to store, but like, where are you guys selling this stuff? Like, so I'd look into their business. And after a while, I said, okay, Coast, you guys don't need to sell to any more retailers. I will be the exclusive online retailer for you. And at the end of the day, way more volume online than stores. What happens on Amazon when you do that? You get deactivated. I went through every seller in here's worst nightmare. I was losing sleep, worst period of my life. I won't go too deep into it, but this was my seller account. 2023, $7.3 million, up 41%, and then this happened. Account gets deactivated. This is my warehouse. Old account, deactivated, new account. Everyone's like, how does that work? Like, aren't you getting in trouble, anything like that? There's a few things I learned throughout this process. Number one, relationships matter. So I stopped buying from my brand directs because my account's shut down. I'm like, they're like, why aren't you buying anything anymore? Like, and I told them straight up that I'm dealing with Amazon issues, and they were patient with me. They waited me out. And I've heard stories where brands will bounce to the next retailer. If you're not fulfilling the purchase orders, like, your spot will get filled. So that was one thing. And my distribution partner stuck with me as well. So if I didn't have these relationships, I would be cooked. There's no way I would be continuing selling on Amazon. The things I realized throughout this whole thing, and the second, I needed to go 100% legit. A lot of people, it's very hard to give up money that you're making right now for longer term money. And I'm talking to guys who are reselling. Maybe it's from a distributor, maybe it's from a retailer. Eventually, Amazon is cracking down hard to make sure that you guys are either working directly with the brand or you are the brand. Now, will arbitrage always be around 100%? I think so, as long as Amazon allows it and as long as you're buying from legitimate retailers. But arbitrage can be a lot safer than wholesale in some cases. Like, if you guys are buying from a retailer, getting that invoice, that's cleaner than just like the distributor who you found and they say they're authorized, but you don't really know. So like, I don't work with those distributors at all anymore. One thing Amazon will ask you sometimes is for your supplier's invoice. So how many distributors are going to give that up? Not a lot. If you guys deal with distributors, mine do. So when I have any issues and I'm not buying direct from the brand, my distributors will get my back. So for now on, all I do is 100% authorized reselling, and majority of it is brand partnerships, brand direct wholesale, whatever you want to call it. We'll get into that too. And this is one of many services you can offer brands. So what I do, probably heard one of these today: brand direct wholesale, brand management, brand partnerships, brand growth partner, million different phrases. You guys know SaaS, like a SaaS company. Here's another one: wholesale as a service. And honestly, I don't think you should wholesale in 2026 unless you're going to go this route, because it is just an extension of wholesale. Like, I still buy from my brands. I don't charge them an agency fee. There's literally no retainer to work with us. I don't charge you anything. So it's a no-brainer. A lot of people are like, well, how do you make money? We buy in bulk, we resell it, and we take the margin. So honestly, this is how you become a partner and not another reseller. And really what I'm hitting on is skill sets matter. Doesn't matter if you're reselling, doesn't matter what you're doing, especially nowadays in 2026, like, your skill sets matter tremendously. You're not going to get anywhere until you start building up that skill set. And one thing I want a lot of Amazon sellers to know is, like, you guys have way more skills than you give yourself credit for. So I talk to so many sellers every single week. The ones that don't do wholesale, brand direct, they feel like they're not ready yet. You are ready for the right brand. So Amazon sellers, they're resilient, they're savvy, FBA shipments, forecasts, competitor analysis. You're patient enough to deal with seller support. Brands are not. If you can do all this, this is a value add, and a brand would love to have you on their team if you can do this. And it's going to be hard. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But what isn't? This is a long-term business model we're building. You're not going to find that profitable brand if you don't sell it all and you go out in week one, because they're going to give you some kickback. Why should I sell to you? Who are you? What are you going to do for us? But at the end of the day, you have to get in the game. You have to be consistent, and it will come, because this is so much value with zero overhead. So when I'm talking to brands, I say I'm zero overhead. I'm saving you guys money. Whatever you're paying your agency, 5K a month, no more. Whatever you're paying your 3PL bill, no more. It's not needed. Save that money. Let's spend it on ads, grow the sales. I'll be buying more units from you guys, and it strengthens your power with the brand. So you want to become the person worth selling to, right? Like at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what business you do. You're not going to get in the room if you don't have any value to give. So the people that do get in the room have something to bring to the table. If the supplier's not responding to you or you're not getting the feedback, they don't think you're worth the time. You have to become the person worth selling to. And valuable, helpful people are always in demand. AI is going to replace a lot of jobs. AI might replace certain loopholes, ways of sourcing. It's not going to replace valuable human beings. And that's what we're becoming. Literally, your ancestors went to war. They sharpened their spears, they put on animal skins, and they went to battle. We're clicking buttons. So you got to remember that at the end of the day, like a little rejection is not going to be the end of the world. Like, and once you hit that no a couple times, and this is what sales will teach you, like, it's not that bad, guys. And at the end of the day, we only need one person. It takes one, whether it's a distributor or a retailer or a brand, you only need one. And from there, you're going to scale that relationship. Use the case study that you get with them and say, hey, look, I took this brand from 0 to 10K a month. I want to do the same for you. I got this brand in brand registry. I found this brand. They were selling shampoos, conditioners. I said, why don't you sell a shampoo conditioner bundle? I'll do it for you, A to Z. You take that, it's a case study. Oh, we went from 0 to boom, doing this. So anytime I'm doing outreach, I'm attaching a PDF, a Loom video. When I go to trade shows, I have documents with me. I have real results. That's what compounds. So follow me on Instagram if you don't. I share tips on how to do wholesale, brand direct. If you guys have any questions, I answer all my DMs or holler at me here. But I hope this was valuable for you guys. And that's just my one piece of advice to leave you with is focus on value, skill set, and relationships. So we're not sourcing products. We're sourcing opportunities and relationships.